This is WKYT This Morning.
Kentucky mornings start here on WKYT. Good morning to you. I'm Andrea Walker.
I'm Bill Bryant. It's Friday, September 9th, and we're glad you're with us this morning.
Let's get to the news. Now at 6, we're tracking a developing story after a shooting outside a Waffle House in Lexington.
We'll have the latest from there. Also, concerns are growing after North Korea says it has conducted another and maybe its largest nuclear test.
And the Kentucky Wildcats are hitting the road for a tough game in the swamp.
And it sounds like the weather, the word for it is mixed.
Yes.
As you said earlier, as we head for that. Yeah.
We're right now in that transition period when we go from the summer conditions into the fall conditions. So we'll see a little bit of both seasons here the next few days. But at least today, not necessarily looking like the prettiest Friday for us. We're looking at scattered showers and storms right now moving eastward along 64 and along the BG Parkway. The bulk of those showers and storms, though, still off to our west, right now pushing through the E-Town area. So your morning commute looks pretty good for central Kentucky. It'll be here over the next few hours that those showers and storms move into the bluegrass region. We take a wide look here, and it's all part of a cold front to our north that is impacting us. Temperature-wise, still in the mid to low 70s, so a little warm to kick off our Friday morning. But that's all feeling and looking like the summer. Big changes are on the way to make things feel more like fall. I'll take you hour by hour and show you when things will start to feel more like autumn.
All right, meteorologist Mike Linden in for Micah this morning.
We are tracking a developing story in Lexington right now.
Police are investigating a shooting. It happened in a Waffle House parking lot a couple of hours ago.
The scene is on Athens-Boonesboro Road, just off Interstate 75 in southern Fayette County. Now, details are limited right now, but let's check in with WKYT's Mike Byer for an update and some new information. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Andrea. Police remain on scene here at the Waffle House on Athens-Boonesboro Road. Now, as you mentioned, details are limited, but here's what we know right now. Around 4 a.m., police say someone shot himself while in a car in the parking lot. Police were already on scene when the shot was fired. They say the victim shot himself in the neck. Now, we don't know if that person shot himself on purpose or if it was some sort of accident. We also don't know why police were already at the Waffle House. Were they here doing regular patrols, or were they called out here to investigate something? We're checking with them to get these questions answered. We will stay out here all morning and work to get you more information. Once details become available, we'll share them with you on air, online, and through our WKYT mobile news app. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. And now to a developing international story this morning that is causing concern. Overnight, North Korea launched its largest nuclear test to date.
The move is drawing criticism from around the world. WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain is at the alert desk with details.
Yeah, definitely concerning news around the world this morning. It's the second nuclear test by North Korea in 8 months. Now, this test is being called North Korea's biggest nuclear test yet, and it was hailed a success on state TV. North Korea leaders say the nation is now capable of mounting nuclear warheads on ballistic rockets. Officials in South Korea suspected the test, and after an emergency meeting called the move a, quote, violent act. North Korea claimed to have tested a hydrogen bomb back in January, and earlier this week, North Korea tested 3 ballistic missiles. President Obama responded by threatening tougher sanctions. Now, the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency says this test, if confirmed, is in violation of UN Security Council resolutions and is deeply troubling. North Korean leaders say the test is in response to international sanctions and U.S. hostility in the region. Bill?
Okay, thank you very much, Michelle, with the update on that. A driver was killed and more than a dozen students injured in a school bus crash in southern Kentucky. It happened in Metcalfe County in Edmonton. That's the Cumberland Parkway between Columbia and Glasgow, along that road there. Police say a van hit the bus, causing the van to flip and catch fire. The driver of the van died at the scene. Neighbors who saw the crash say they rushed over to make sure the 34 children on board were okay.
I tried to comfort them, you know, get them away from the wreck, try to get them out of the smoke.
Police say of the 34 students on the bus, 16 of them were taken to the hospital to be checked out for minor injuries. Parents picked up the other students at the scene. The bus driver was not hurt.
A Laurel County couple will face a judge again today now that the charges against them have been upgraded to murder. Investigators say a 7-week-old girl died at the hands of her parents, Gary and Jessica Nicely. Deputies say their daughter died at Kentucky Children's Hospital last week after suffering serious injuries. The baby's twin sister was also taken to the hospital with similar injuries. WKYT will be in the courtroom when the Niceleys are arraigned later this morning. You can keep track of this story on WKYT.com, and all of our stories are there as well. Well, this next story has rocked the Lexington community. It's heartbreaking. The family of a murdered pregnant woman is hoping someone will come forward with answers.
Really a mystery this morning still. Police say 22-year-old Mariah Coleman was shot to death Wednesday night while walking her dog on Winburn Drive. She was 8 months pregnant. Her baby also died. Friends say Coleman was looking forward to her baby shower that was to be held this weekend. Instead, her family is now planning to bury the young mother-to-be and is also calling out for justice.
The killer will be found because the family gonna do everything. So if anybody knows anything, hear anything, please contact somebody, because this is not fair that a 22-year-old had to go like this.
Police say they still don't know what led up to the shooting, and they tell us they do not have a good description of the suspect. A Lexington man is hoping for a birthday miracle, and his family and friends are doing what they can to make it happen because his life depends on it.
A bittersweet story here. Jimmy Thomas thought he had beaten leukemia, but just a couple weeks ago, doctors told him it had returned. Now in his second fight, Thomas desperately needs a bone marrow donor match. Thomas celebrated his birthday yesterday in the hospital, and afterwards his friends set up a bone marrow registry drive to help him find a match. But it could be difficult. According to the University of Kentucky, only 7% of eligible donors are African American, and patients are more likely to find donor matches within their own racial or ethnic backgrounds. Still, Thomas remains optimistic.
Even if I don't get a match, somebody can.
As you heard, even if he doesn't, someone else could. For more information on how you can become a bone marrow donor, check out our website, WKYT.com.
And also on there we have the video of them singing happy
Yes,
birthday to him.
it was a beautiful gesture.
Moving moment, no doubt.
It was. Well, the Kentucky Wildcats are headed to the Swamp today to take on the daunting task of upsetting the Florida Gators.
It would be a big one if they can pull it off. The football Wildcats have lost the last 29 games to Florida. Coach Mark Stoops says his team has had a good week of practice coming off that season-opening upset to Southern Mississippi last weekend. It's the Cats and the Gators from the Swamp at 3:30 tomorrow, and you can see it right here on WKYT. And then stick with us after the game for a special edition of WKYT Game Time. We'll have Stoops' post-game press conference live from the Swamp.
This could really turn things around for the Cats. I mean, if they can upset Florida, I think that would really bring excitement back to the program.
Hope springs eternal,
That's right.
Okay, we're going to check in whether it's...
We are truly looking at some good conditions working their way in here over the next few days. We just have a few days to get to that point. Right now, some showers and storms working their way through Kentucky, but still over the southern edge of Indiana. Now, of course, that is going to take us through the next few days here in order for things to get better. But right now, still most of those showers and storms still sitting off to our northwest. So if you're getting your day started early for your morning commute, things are still looking pretty good. That's all because of that cold front, again, sitting over southern Indiana, working its way into Kentucky. Now, to our northwest, a bit farther away over North Dakota, is yet another frontal system that once that gets here into Saturday, we're looking at a more potent line of storms that not only will bring the heavy rain and the gusty winds, but also bring cooler conditions as we head into our Sunday. All in all, your Friday not looking the greatest, but feeling a lot like summer. Temperatures will come down from the 90s, where they were yesterday, and settle into the mid-80s for our daytime highs out there. So there's something positive. Those thick clouds overhead will knock those temperatures down a little bit, but it will still be a relatively steamy day for us here in the Bluegrass. Your hour-by-hour forecast, things are going to, again, be messy here the next few days, so let's put it in motion and check it out. This is right around 7 o'clock this morning. Most of central Kentucky getting in on the scattered showers and storms. As we head into the afternoon, things do get a little more amplified, but then a bit of a break before things once again get going around 6 o'clock this evening, especially for the northern zones, as again that front sits to our north. Moving into Sunday, that front all the way over North Dakota gets here and brings in a very potent line of showers and storms. Look how almost perfectly defined that line is, and look out ahead of it. The upper 80s, look behind it, the low 70s. That just goes to show you this cooler air coming in and how much of a drastic impact it's going to have. Moving into your early Sunday morning, most of the active weather is moving out of the bluegrass, but by Sunday afternoon, looking and feeling like autumn in the upper 70s. So that'll be the story of the next few days here. That cold front moving in, bringing in that beautiful fall air. So a tale of two seasons, feeling and looking a lot like the summer today and tomorrow, but a big change as we head into Sunday and Monday. So if you have any outdoor plans here the next few days, well, maybe you want to push them ahead to Sunday. That's looking like the best day of the bunch.
Okay, so it's kind of a half and half weekend.
Yeah, messy as we get started. Tomorrow more so than today, but Sunday looks to be easily the best of the next.
Okay, well, enjoy
light at
that,
the end of the
like you
tunnel.
said.
Oh yeah.
6:11 the time on WKYT.
And each morning we bring you weather and traffic together.
Let's go check out, see what's happening with Officer Don, and look at what's happening on the roads. Hey, Don.
Looking sharp.
Good morning. No wrecks right. I can barely hear you, so sorry. No wrecks right now. Traffic looks good on the interstate and the circle inbound Newtown Pike. Normal traffic flow there. Let's get a look outside. We'll show you what's happening. Overall traffic view looks good coming in from Clark County with no problems on Winchester Road. And a live look now at Manowar and Todd's Road. That's courtesy of the Lexington Fayette Urban County government. We're off to a great start there. Of course, we'll keep you up to date throughout the morning. Now back to you in the studio.
Okay, and we can hear Don just fine.
He can't hear my compliments. I'm just going to stop it now.
Right, maybe he didn't want to hear the compliment.
There you go, whatever.
Friday morning on WKYT, it's great to have you with us as we get this day off and rolling. A lot more news coming right up.
A warning for some Samsung customers. What the FAA is putting out, they're saying a strong warning about their new smartphone.
Yeah, concerns on that. And also how Google and Chipotle are teaming up to take over your stomach and the sky. Interesting story ahead this morning.
Are coming up on 6:16 here on WKYT this morning, and we are tracking another developing story. A train has derailed in Spain, killing some passengers and injuring several others.
Spanish authorities say a passenger train has derailed in the northwestern Galicia region. It's about 280 miles northwest of Madrid. Spanish media say the train was carrying about 60 passengers. The train had 3 cars in total. Stay with WKYT as we continue to work to update this story. A lot happening this morning in terms of ongoing stories right now.
And with less than 60 days to the general election, the 2016 presidential candidates are sharpening their verbal attacks. At her first formal press conference in several months, Hillary Clinton labeled Donald Trump a, quote, gift for ISIS and criticized his praise for Russia's president during Wednesday's Commander-in-Chief Forum. Trump is standing by some of his remarks and called the Democratic nominee, quote, trigger happy for voting to go to war in Iraq.
Green Party presidential nominee Jill Stein will go to North Dakota to face misdemeanor charges. Stein made the announcement during a campaign stop in Chicago. She and her running mate have been charged with criminal trespassing and mischief. The charges come from their role in Tuesday's protest against Dakota Access Pipeline. But Stein says that is not her real criminal situation.
We will go there to face our charges, and I'll just say that the real criminal here, the real vandalism, is the desecration of the indigenous lands that had just taken place. It is the release of attack dogs onto peaceful protesters.
The Standing Rock Sioux tribe says the pipeline will destroy its ancient burial and prayer sites. A judge is expected to rule today on the tribe's request for a temporary halt of the construction.
U.S. aviation safety officials are taking the extraordinary step of warning airline passengers not to turn on or have a new model Samsung smartphone during flights. Now, there have been numerous reports of the Galaxy Note 7 phones catching fire. The FAA is also warning passengers not to put the phones in their checked bags. And NASA's bold mission to bring pieces of a dangerous asteroid down to Earth has taken flight. The agency's OSIRIS-REx spacecraft lifted off from Cape Canaveral last night. NASA hopes to start getting images of the asteroid called Bennu in the next 2 years.
The time this morning is 6:18 on WKYT. Wells Fargo Bank has agreed to pay $190 million in fines to the government and to its customers. Banking regulators say Wells Fargo employees opened phony accounts without the okay of customers in order to meet sales goals and get bonuses. The bank says it has fired 5,300 workers who are linked to that scam. Also this morning, in response to growing complaints of racial bias among users, Airbnb is implementing a beefed-up non-discrimination policy. Starting October 1st, the company will provide alternative Airbnb or outside accommodation for any guest who feels they have been discriminated against by a host while making a booking. The home share business will also offer anti-bias training for community members. Watching this story this morning with interest, flying burritos over Virginia Tech. That may sound like a college student's dream, but it may also soon be reality. Google is planning to test drone delivery at the school by delivering Chipotle burritos. They'll be made at a Chipotle food truck that will be there on site. Then the self-navigating drones will lower the burritos using a tether. Google says it chose to test food delivery to learn how to package sensitive cargo for drone delivery. That just makes it really easy, doesn't it?
What are we
Burritos out of the
coming
sky?
to? You know what I mean? Can't be bothered to go get a burrito anymore. Got to get a drone
Well,
for it.
Drop at your step.
Well, it is interesting. I'll give it that. WKYT this morning is just getting started. Well, his honey-do list was apparently getting to him. You won't believe what one man did to avoid facing his wife. That story coming up. You're going to like it.
And showers and storms now set to work their way into the bluegrass. It's going to feel and look a lot more like summer than fall today, but fall is coming. I'll have the hour-by-hour forecast coming up.
Time now is 6:23 on your Friday. A man has been rushed to the hospital after a shooting outside a Lexington Waffle House.
A new detail on that just in, that he has now gone to the hospital. That is what's trending at this hour. This happened just before 4 o'clock this morning at the Waffle House on 8th and Boonesboro Road. Police say the man shot himself while sitting in a car. We don't know if he intended to shoot himself or all the other circumstances. Obviously a large police scene there.
We'll keep you up to date on it. The Pentagon says North Korea's latest nuclear test is a serious provocation. Press Secretary Peter Cook says the test poses a significant threat to the peace and security of the Korean Peninsula and the stability of the Asia-Pacific region.
Showers about to arrive in our part of the Commonwealth, and meteorologist Mike Linden is in with us.
That's right, Bill. Showers and storms now moving in along the BG Parkway and along 64, moving into central Kentucky. That's all a part of a cold front that sits just to the north of us. We have another cold front coming in from the northwest, though, that's set to impact the region as we head into Saturday. So here's your hour by hour of how the two cold fronts will bring us the active weather. The first one, right now to our north, will continue to bring the showers and storms from now up into the early stages of the afternoon. Things are rather disorganized, but as we head into the afternoon hours, it's mainly looking at the northern zones that will see the active weather, especially considering that that's where the cold front is. Heading into your weekend, that cold front to our northwest arrives, and look at how well defined it is. And look at those temperatures. To the east of it, the mid to high 80s. To the west, the low 70s. Just goes to show you how cool that air is coming into the region. Of course, set to bring us the stronger thunderstorms that will bring us heavy rain, gusty winds, and lightning through most of Saturday afternoon and into the evening hours. But your Sunday looking to feel a lot more like the autumn. Back to the upper 70s we go. As far as temperatures the next few days, again, feeling like summer, and heading into Sunday, feeling more like autumn. Bill and Andrea?
Okay, thank you very much. This is where we like to sneak in a couple of interesting stories
Yes.
every morning. 6:25 right now.
You're going to love this one. A Missouri man is behind bars after crashing a funeral and trying to take the body out of the casket. Now, this was a woman, actually. Excuse me.
Right. Police say that Cynthia Frierson was drunk at the time. They say she first hit up a couple of parked cars outside, then shows up at the funeral home during a service. That's when police say she just walked up to the casket and tried to drag the body out. One neighbor of the woman says she needs help. Frierson now faces some charges, including disorderly conduct at a funeral. So I didn't know such a
that's
charge
one.
existed, but there you go.
There you go. That's one they're not going to forget anytime soon.
Okay, then there's this 70-year-old Kansas man who decided that he would rather be in jail than be around his wife.
We have a cast of characters today. The FBI says Lawrence John Ripple robbed a bank, then sat around waiting for police to show up. Ripple's wife says she told him the dryer needed to be fixed, and that when he wrote the robbery note right in front of her, the couple has been married for 33 years. He could spend up to 20 years now behind bars.
I guess that was just one thing too much on his honey-do list, right?
He hit his threshold, and buddy, he was done. Just sat waiting for police. Don't you love that?
Right. It'll be an interesting trial to hear all the evidence in that. 6:27 on WKYT this morning.
We'll be right back.